The coronavirus is affecting most sports leagues around the nation. 40 Major League Baseball players and staff have reportedly tested positive for COVID-19 over the past week. USA Today reports the positive tests inside the Philadelphia Phillies and New York Yankees camps in the Tampa area forced the league to shut down all of its spring training facilities. That means every team, with the exception of the Toronto Blue Jays, will now have spring training at their home ballparks. This comes as MLB players delay their vote on whether to accept the owner's offered deal for a 60-game season with a full prorated salary. In return, the players' union would waive its right to file a grievance over what they call bad faith negotiating. David Samson is the former president of the Miami Marlins and the host of the CBS Sports podcast, Nothing Personal. He joins me now to talk about the impact of the pandemic on the world of sports. Hi, David. Great to have you with us.
Hi, Tanya. How are you?
So, David, if you were still president of an MLB team right now, how concerned would you be about the ability of baseball to come back in a way that's both safe for the players and the team staff and delivers, a good season?
So in my 18 years as team president, there was anything like this. We dealt with a lot of natural disasters in South Florida with hurricanes. And is it okay to play baseball when you've got first responders and police who are dealing with other issues around the community? Now you're dealing with a type of economic reality, a type of actual pandemic where you're worried about the safety, not just of your fans, so you can play without fans. Now the safety of your players, even if they're positive, they could be asymptomatic and they're going to be okay. But then what about your staff? What about your older coaches? So to me, this is something I never had to deal with. And what I would be doing right now is making sure that we had a health protocol in place that was extremely strict. And my biggest concern is that not all the players, because they're young, and I get it. We're seeing it here in Florida, which is why there's a spike in cases. They may not follow the protocol, so therefore the risk may simply be too great.
So, of course, as you know, the NBA players are close to 2 weeks away from their scheduled arrivals in Orlando. The league is attempting to create a bubble inside Disney World for 22 teams to finish the season. I mean, do you think they're going to be able to pull it off? And what is at stake for the league to do this right?
Well, let's talk about what's at stake for the league. It's a lot of money. So all of these leagues are trying to get to their postseason, where the NHL is close, NBA is close, MLB has to get through a season before they get to their postseason. And so what the NBA said is, let's put everyone together, let's get them to Disney World, and we'll put them in this quote-unquote bubble. But here's the problem. It's not an actual bubble. It's not like John Travolta, the boy in the bubble. They're going to be at different hotels. There's going to be hotel workers. There's going to be all sorts of other people around. And if the players do not follow the 113-page protocol perfectly, then you could have a hole in the bubble. And what a hole in the bubble will do is cause a positive test, which will cause a player to not be able to play. We saw what happened in March when one player tested positive. They shut the league down. Now what they're saying is, we're not going to shut the league down if one player tests positive. We're just going to put him into isolation. What happens if LeBron James and 7 other members of the Lakers all test positive? Am I going to be on the Lakers? What's going to happen? I don't know how realistic it is.
It's all pretty crazy to contemplate. I want to ask about college sports, though, because many football players are returning to campus for workouts. Some of the country's largest athletic departments have reported cases among their athletes. So is this too ambitious to try and bring back a sport with 130 teams made up of unpaid students?
I think your font is too big because you've got all the logos of teams up there. I see that right now. But what about all the others who aren't reporting the positive tests? Can you imagine that there is a situation with college sports where there is not a universal protocol about testing or about the rules that are actually needed in order to have college sports? It just makes no sense to me. So as a result, you could have some conferences starting, others conferences not starting. I also think there needs to be a universal testing protocol for college sports. But frankly, if there are no students on campus, then there should not be student athletes on campus.
All right. Well, David Samson, thank you so much for your time and your expert opinion on this.